Welcome to the eCommerce Masters Podcast, the platform where we delve into the stories and strategies of e-commerce trailblazers. I'm your host, Ethan Giffin, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming another remarkable guest to our show. Joining us today is Dave Santiago, Vice President of Omni Channel and Corporate Sales for Cutter & Buck, a premium apparel brand that offers products for golf, sports, and lifestyle consumers. He has over 20 years of experience in consumer packaged goods, soft lines, and digital online sectors, where he has consistently delivered revenue growth, profitability, and customer satisfaction. Dave is one of my favorite change makers and disruptors, and we are honored to work with him as a longtime client here at Groove. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So excited to have you here today. So let's dive right into things. And if you could, just tell us a little bit more about Cutter & Buck and the types of products that you sell as a whole.
Well, Cutter & Buck is a brand and a company founded in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle area. We've been around for about 30 years. During that time, the brand and the company has gone through several iterations. We pride ourselves on making products that are designed to be a consumer's favorite, so the bar is pretty high. And so that really means something to us internally. We go to market as a brand, an apparel brand, as an at-once company. So we're a little bit different. When we develop a product and introduce a product, it's long-lasting for 3 to 5 years at a minimum, which works out well for e-commerce. And we're very heavily involved in lifestyle products in general, with our roots coming out of the golf industry way back when. So the brand itself and its application and how we design and market products has evolved to more of a lifestyle premium brand.
That's cool. I absolutely love my Cutter & Buck vest. So one of the great things about what you do is kind of corporate branded apparel. And so I'm lucky enough to have a great Groove Cutter & Buck vest that you will find on me, until the weather gets usually below 45 or 40 degrees. I'm rocking the vest, right? I also want to look like I fit in the kind of private equity world of things too with that when I go to events.
That's great. Yeah, no, we're glad you love it. A lot of people do. It's exciting to be engaged with consumers at trade shows, and we participate in the major PGA merchandising tents where it's really cool to come see and engage with all the fans that can identify the brand, and they say, "Hey, your dad bought the product. My dad bought the product. I buy the product. My son buys the product, and I love it." So that's real feedback that we're very proud of and cherish.
So speaking of golf, and then you do have a wide diversity of products. Who is your target market, and what's kind of the overall corporate revenue for Cutter & Buck?
The target market is ages of 35 to 55 mainly. Average household incomes of 75,000 more. We do about 80% of our business in men's apparel, 20% for women, but we know that the percentages of women actually purchasing is much higher than the 20%, which is we love. The overall revenue U.S. for Cutter & Buck is about 150 million this year. In Canada, it's another 20 to 25 million. We also have our global sales of Cutter & Buck that is approaching 200 to 250 million in 2024. That's where we're at.
All right. So what does the VP of Omni Channel and Corporate Sales, encompass? What is, it's a very, very broad, broad umbrella of a role. How are you are you touching literally everything sales-wise that comes into the organization?
Yes, it is. We have a very consumer-centric view and end-user view, which is a terminology that's interchangeable to us. So corporate end-user would be our customer's customer. So a distributor salesperson will be presenting product for a program or for a company apparel store, and the end user would actually be the employee. On the flip side, Omnichannel, it's truly the consumer target is the end consumer. And way we see our go-to-market strategy is everything we do is about creating great products and solutions for the end user and consumer, leveraging the platforms of our B2B partners, whether it be retail, brick and mortar, golf, on course, off course, corporate distributors, on and on and on. So we develop products that we believe will appeal and apply to all channel end users and consumers. That's how we have developed our what we call our market winning product strategy. And we buy our inventory and we configure our supply chain. My role is to oversee the go-to-market strategies in all those channels. I oversee all the sales, the entire sales force, including our D2C strategy as well. It's a really cool role to play because it's never dull, and it's all about engaging consumers and making sure that our products are engaging the consumers and getting in front of those consumers on effectively and efficiently.
So you began your role back in 2016 as licensed apparel director. What has kind of been the evolution of the licensed apparel opportunities at Cutter?
So it's been very exciting, but like in retail itself, the licensed apparel industry is consolidated to some power players, some super power players, mainly Fanatics and other major players. So when I started, the campus retail, which was bookstores, were major players, major contributors, dominated in what we call NCAA apparel. Since then, the penetration of that market has been somewhat less, and has been gone to an online product acquisition by consumers. So there's been a shift in buying behavior that has really been interesting in that particular space, but also it's played out just like any other retail sector has had years prior, whether it was buying hammers, or the major players have come, consolidated, gone away, and same with the licensed apparel industry. So the way we reach products today and consumers today is really with both in-store, team franchises, brick and mortar retail, but the online engagement is dominating, and that's what's emerging to be the real play.
So you talk about Fanatics a bit, and that's a great opportunity. When you sell a licensed product through Fanatics and they resell your products, is that being delivered? Is that being drop shipped by you in that transaction?
In 2017, when I was 16, when we started, and I started, 20%, less than 20% of the products was fulfilled by Cutter & Buck. Now 100% of the product and orders are being fulfilled by Cutter & Buck. So what that has done is opened our eyes and to the value of a no inventory turnkey solution that we can provide an entire industry that as a real value proposition. And having been in the game for so long, the conundrum called inventory for any retailer has been really a real barrier for success for many. Buying the right inventory, holding the right inventory, having enough inventory has been really the holy grail for retail. So having a partner like Cutter & Buck that can actually own their inventory, fulfill in one day for blank orders, decorate on demand in 29 hours for decorated product is a real value proposition to the industry, and that's our go-to-market. That's our secret sauce.
And so for our listeners to kind of break that down a little bit lower, if I order a Baltimore Orioles jacket or a Baltimore Orioles golf shirt, that's your product, that it's embroidered with that logo. You actually embroider that on demand in about 29 hours and get that out the door.
Yes, for EDI integrated partners, we do that. It's exactly right. So everything's production ready, and we have a whole workflow of syndicating the products online, get the orders through EDI feeds. They go right to the embroidery machines.
I think that is so cool, by the way, and just the speed at which you're able to produce that and get that out to the customer. You've got licensing agreements with Major League Baseball, Minor League Baseball. You've got NFL. You've got collegiate. What's kind of next in terms of licensing? Where do you think licensing is going? Do you think you're gonna continue to add and evolve, or do you think you kind of have your core four there?
No, we're in the application process all the time. We hope to be considered by the NBA this year. We're actually in the application process there, which we're super excited about. And we want to continue to add. We would love to be a Formula One licensee. We would love to continue to add our portfolio. So we love the play. We love the opportunity to add the licenses with our brand. We believe that is a strategy that is just mutually beneficial, and we want more.
So, how do you think that the personalized products or the print, the decorate on demand products have really kind of driven and pushed your direct to consumer growth of the things that you sell directly through cutterbuck.com?
Absolutely, absolutely, on many levels. From a consumer reach, NFL fans outnumber Cover Buck fans. So being able to leverage that audience and really make a compelling offering for that consumer base, and then rinse repeat over the different channels of fan bases and affinities. It also plays in the golf space too. We're a licensee for PGA and on and on and on.
So, out of all of the license options that have kind of come out during your watch, do you have a favorite product or kind of a theme or team of your favorite product?
I asked a similar question to a friend of mine who owns a car dealership. I said, "Hey, what's your favorite car?" And he said, "The one leaving the park, leaving the lot." So that's the ones that are selling the most are my favorite. Actually, it's I think transactionally, and to be honest with you, prior to getting into the licensing business, I had a favorite team, but now really I really am praying for the winner.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's great. I think a true capitalist. And I appreciate that opinion. One of the things I think that I've seen in terms of, I think we've been working together since about 2016 or so is, when we started, direct to consumer was not as prioritized within the organization. I hate to call it a hobby, but it seemed like it was like kind of a beta test of hey, can we sell direct? And we probably just need to do it. How have you created change within the organization for it to become a much higher focus, where your CEO is involved at times in conversations, and it's now an important part of what your overall sales strategy is?
Well, we flipped the switch on our perception on D2C when we realized that there was a path forward where we could actually grow the business cost effectively and not build empires to support a business that wasn't performing. So we're lean and mean in our organization internally, and we are really finding success and really just building out our business cost effectively first with a great partner like Groove. But also we're seeing the value of the margins in a direct to consumer basis, and we see the value of those transactions over B2B wholesale. So it's a big strategic win for us to really grow that business as a percent of total sales. And we have a desire to have that segment of the revenue funnel be 15% of our total sales in 5 years.
Wow. And that is a fantastic goal, and I really commend you on that. Have you seen your wholesale customers push back on any of this strategy at all in the process?
Initially, early on, we'd get an occasional call, and we would, always do the right thing. But no, it's leveled out to where we've been very disciplined in our pricing strategy and respectful for in that viewpoint, so that we're not undermining either side of the revenue funnel. And again, with decoration, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of space. So a lot of different segments where you can penetrate fairly effectively, where everybody wins.
You also sell on Amazon, you sell on eBay. How do those marketplaces kind of fall into your omni-channel strategy?
They're emerging, and they're important because they're also very profitable for us as well, especially in the fulfillment by vendor ones, where you go out with an MSRP strategy and then do some revenue sharing downstream, being vertically integrated with the product as a manufacturer. It's a winning strategy for us. So it's growing. It's one of the fastest e-commerce segments we have. It's also falls into our pipeline of direct fulfillment, which helps feed the machines and really solidify the back end that we've built, which we're very proud of.
That's great. That's great. So, I like to ask people, what they're wearing, so to speak. So let's talk a little bit about what's in your e-commerce tech stack.
Well, it's a long list. too many to name offhand, but eCommerce is our platform. SAP is our enterprise software, enterprise management system. We also have is our ERP. We also have some homegrown technology stacks and product information systems and such.
So yes, you use a PIM. I think you use InRiver as your
That's correct.
PIM.
That's correct. That's correct. And with the decorated products, there's a lot of custom development inside that platform. Klaviyo is our email provider, and we use SearchSpring and drawing blanks.
No, it's okay. It's Klarna and 99 Minds for loyalty. You Stamp for reviews and ratings. Avalara on the tech side, and then I think Happy Returns on the
Happy Returns. One of our favorites. That was a big win for us.
So, I mean, that's a great little tech stack there, and quite frankly, many of those players are common in that we come across for mid-market customers, know, like Cutter. So, it's people are always curious of what others are using, and I think you've got a great representation of some of the top players within the marketplace. Where do you see direct to consumer kind of going and evolving in 2024 and beyond?
Well, if our direct to consumer, I think you mean, we see exponential growth over the next several years. Our fan shop part of the store is going to drive a lot of that growth. Every time we introduce a new product, a new series, it exponentially morphs into tens of thousands of SKUs. So what's really exciting, and each one of those have a target to an end user / consumer. So through the decoration capabilities we have, every new product we introduce exponentially expands out into a consumer base that drives the sales. Hunting that down, managing that, expanding those catalogs and collections, building stores within stores, and continuing to chase down the affinity marketplace is really the dream, because it allows us to do that cost effectively versus using influencers or other type of high priced consumer acquisition strategies that other brands do.
I know that B2B commerce is also a significant focus of yours. How are you investing in that in 2024 and 2025?
Which is really cool. That's a great question, because B2B e-commerce is if you look back, it's where consumer e-commerce was 20 years ago. So now we have these corporate distributor giants that are now investing in e-commerce and getting their technology stacks in place and getting their platforms to where they're becoming EDI ready. And with the emergence of the web store and the company online store and book and run stores that are all morphing to online, we're really well positioned to do integrated workflows, print product on demand, provide no inventory solutions, similar to what we're doing in the Omni on the retail side in the corporate, and it's super exciting. We feel that it's going to be a major growth factor for us and the industry, and we provide a solution that's already been proven with our success in the retail space, and now we're leveraging that for the corporate distributor as well. And so we're doing actual integrations now with major players using promo standards as a mechanism, EDI, leveraging the Pride stores and other platforms, and we're on to hunt for more.
How have your field reps reacted to leveraging the B2B online tools? Are they kind of pushing back, or are they kind of in lockstep with that change?
They're in lockstep. Initially, they couldn't spell API, right? So what we do, so what we've done is we built an infrastructure internally to where all they have to do is solve the problem, ask the right questions, and then make a call, and we come in and support. So, we found that clarity. We have a very disciplined go-to-market strategy that's very high leverage. We're selling the platform as well as the garments, which is just find the right sourcing solution, whether it's shipping to a warehouse, shipping to end users, doing direct fulfillment, or doing some type of integration, and we have it down to. We have it down to where it's really easy and seamless, and they're super stoked. They see a new way forward.
That's great. I've been, over my time here at Grove, I've been asked to speak multiple times at national sales meetings to salespeople to talk about B2B e-commerce. What are all the pieces of that? What are CRM? And so sometimes those can be very daunting conversations to get people bought in and kind of moving it forward. But I will tell you, it's much better to take an order online than it is to take it over the phone these days. Quite frankly, and it's much like, because people that buy, often want to buy at midnight or, well after hours. And, you're just creating an opportunity for them to engage and do what they need to do when they want to do it.
I may just pile on that. So several years ago, we made a commitment for sustainability, and 90% of our products are sustainable. We have sustainable operations, sustainable production, and sustainable products. But part of that commitment is we went digital. So we have no more printed catalogs. Our B2B sales force and our customers rely on our B2B platform, cbcorporate.com, to browse, check inventory, place products. So we're with you on that. We found great efficiency, enhanced profitability, better user experience. It's just amazing the breakthroughs we've had by making that digital commitment.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I've always really respected you've always been a change maker and a disruptor, and I've always respected that about you, especially if you come prepared with data and are able to explain your point of view and the opportunity, available. So, where are you looking next for those types of opportunities?
Well, it's more. We want more. It's a general statement to respond to that. So anything that aligns with our flywheel, we want to lean in heavily. So this digital engagement is really the key. So as I challenge your team and the D2C, and I challenge our team internally. It's how do we reach more? How do we reach more consumers? How do we reach more end users? So it's our sales objective. Starting with objective and key results, it starts with more customers, more orders, and protect profitability. That's our game plan. So that's what we see is how do we cascade that down into particular strategies to go develop those particular marketplaces so that they roll up to the win, which is our profitable growth objective. So where that's going to come from, we're going to continue to lean in on technology to help us get there. I think the idea of microsites and affinity stores is something that should be on the table for us. Better ways for our buyers to browse and purchase is always something we want. And continuing to enhance our email marketing and segmentation strategies is also on the table on the short list of things we need to do. Understanding exactly who the customer is, what they do, how they go to market, how we can support is really a point of effort for us.
It's always important to know your customer in this
Yes.
process. Speaking of roll-ups, you're a part of New Wave Group, an international roll-up of brands. How does Cutter and Buck fit into that conglomerate?
Yes, it's been a really great opportunity for us to have New Wave Group as our owner group, and they see us as a great investment because we've been profitable and well run. Our CEO, I would say, is one of the smartest, most guys I know and have ever worked for, and we are the largest company in the portfolio in the U.S. And probably one of the more profitable ones in the group. Craft Sportswear is another great brand in the portfolio as well as Ahead hats. So some great brands in the portfolio. Everybody gets along. It's a culture of collaboration between the companies, which is amazing to see. And the board is super supportive. And so they're not telling us what to do. They're just encouraging and always supportive. So it's worked out really well from my perspective.
Very, very cool. Very cool. And very respected brands, and their Craft is also a fantastic brand as well. How did you make your way into the apparel business?
Interesting. So I started in hard goods and eventually got into apparel. Kind of snuck in. one of the companies I worked with was a back-end provider for print on demand, which was really cool. That experience taught me everything about getting single orders out the door fast. So if you think about, personalized calendars and postcards in Thanksgiving, and you're inside that print factory and you see those orders that are coming in the thousands and thousands and going out 12 hours later, that's life-changing. That is career-changing. And that experience then led me to work for a company called Prep Sportswear, which was an online aggregator of high school apparel and other type of affinity groups, and had a print-on-demand model. So that was my first tape into apparel. Then I worked for a company called Teamwork Athletic Apparel out of San Diego that did team uniforms, but with a similar model of going with sublimation, which is another on-demand decoration technique. And so I went from, basically swags, fan wear, to uniforms, to a lifestyle brand called Cutter & Buck, and that was about a 10-year journey. Very
And
cool.
You went from sun to rain.
Yes, I did.
San Diego to the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. As I did. I followed the money, though. That was good.
That is good. And Seattle is a fantastic place
It is a great place, yeah.
to live overall. Well, that's cool to hear your story like that. We all have, it's a journey, right? I'd like to tell my staff, it's not getting to the end. It's about the journey that makes it worthwhile. So
Very true.
So if you had one tip for somebody looking to lead omni-channel sales for a mid-market organization, what would be the one tip that you would tell them to think about while they're on this journey?
Well, I would give them the tip of finding a best practice for managing teams. And we engage in a high output management methodology that is practiced and executed and deployed by every team, and internal and whether they're sales or operations or customer service or and development. And that is, we practice that, which has been very helpful in an omni-channel environment, to have a common language between collaborators and groups. It also has provided us a platform that has been able to communicate our objectives to where the the frontline employee understands what we're doing. That has been a breakthrough for us, and that's a tip. If you can find a way to help your team, top to bottom, have perfect clarity of what you're doing, what we're doing as a company together, during it where you're most likely changing the business environment and the business model on the fly, that would be my tip. And once you do that, you'll get greater productivity, happier employees, and better outcomes.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. I definitely appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us today, telling us your story, telling us about the brand and what you're doing from a direct to consumer. I think our listeners will really appreciate what you have to say.
Thank you, Ethan. Great.
Where can people find you online?
I'm on LinkedIn, and that's probably the platform where you'll find me most. And I do post and try to say interesting things every now and then. So that's where you find me.
It's great. Thank you. And for people that are interested in Cutter & Buck, they can find you at cutterbuck.com.
That's right. Please.
All right, Dave, thank you again for joining us, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.